Hey Gemini, this is your June 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this is your reading for the month ahead. Happy solar returns. I appreciate you supporting the channel. It's Romy here. So we're opening up with the energy of the Two of Earth, and this is a month where there are going to be a number of course corrects coming your way, and so this tenacity and flexibility is going to be really important. In fact, I think you will be seeking to try to maintain a sense of balance and peace for yourself through this month. Now, it is a lighter energy through the month of June, and in a way I feel like you're also kind of revisiting with a blank page some important areas of your life. Not because you're seeking the accumulation of more, but there's almost this desire to start clearing and shedding and releasing and simplifying things. I think you want something that feels more straightforward. You're not looking for complicated situations. You don't want complicated people. And, you know, this level of comfort that you are trying to align with, and not a comfort zone, the comfort representing this energy of just being at peace and in balance in your mind, body, soul, is really important, because that's the thing that you will feel has been the demonstration of the growth and what it is that you've been through. Now, we open up this month with Venus and Neptune trining in this really beautiful, healing, intuitive vibe. And I think that's going to be helpful as we make our way to the full moon in Sagittarius at 13 degrees coming in on the 3rd, the 4th of the month. Of course, the new horizons that we want to explore then demand that we release something at the full moon. And in your 7th house, there might be something that you're addressing that you might feel a little bit unsure about. You're trying to weigh something up in regards to perhaps a specific relationship or person. This moon is asking you to focus on one thing and to try to take that all the way. To bring it to a point of conclusion, because I feel like you need to clear this clutter almost out of your mind and to sort of make peace with something. So again, you have space as you start to consider, how can I start to make my life work in an even more harmonious way for me, okay? Now, we are going to then welcome Venus shifting signs coming into Leo on the 5th of the month. And of course, in Leo, there are big gestures. So what you might find is, regardless of, you know, where you perhaps expected a certain situation to go around that full moon in Sagittarius, you know, there might be some big gestures that end up coming out of it. Now, of course, Venus rules our prosperity consciousness, our sense of value, our love relationships, and be aware that it's going to go retrograde in Leo from the 22nd of July. So we're going to be in shadow from the 19th of June. So any situations that you deal with or that surface between the 5th and the 19th, you know, you're going to have an extra long period of time to go back over these. Now, the 6 of Fire suggests that the outcome in regards to something that's coming up around that full moon feels far more successful and something to celebrate than perhaps you're seeing or feeling into initially. So we might have to kind of allow some time to just let the universe really bring towards us where some of these course corrects or detours or some of the strange and peculiar ways you've had to kind of navigate certain things to arrive where you're supposed to. I think there's a sense of recognition that you're looking for, and I think that recognition is also coming your way. Now, that might be that you're waiting to hear something from someone, or that you're waiting to get feedback in relation to something. As we make our way in that first part of June, there's a feeling of, you know, don't put your life on hold. Carry on and continue with the things that are important to you, because that news, information and communication is going to catch up and present itself at the right divine time. But you can almost slow things down or get in your own way if you're fixating or obsessing on that too much, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, Pluto will shift back into the sign of Capricorn on the 11th of the month, retrograde right now. So again, revisiting some of the themes that you've been working on in terms of that inner personal transformation. And of course, we have your ally, Mercury, your natural ruling sign, coming into Gemini on the 11th. This is going to be a huge cosmic boost for you in terms of what it is that you need to say in any of the conversations, any of the work, any of the ways that you need to show up and really get your point across, or to talk about what is important and what matters to you. And I want you to kind of keep that in mind, because I feel that where you're in situations where you've been feeling like you should or you ought to, or even slightly pressured into a certain course of action or having to do something in a way that serves others, there's really going to be, especially around that 11th, this opportunity to say, well, do I want to do this? Is it actually good for me? And, you know, where does this take me, and what does it offer me? And again, as you revisit this blank page and you start to rewrite some of the things that matter to you and how you want to show up, then I think you're going to be able to make some stronger decisions and to push back in some different areas, and especially with regards to some specific people. And that's really going to create a huge energetic shift. It's going to help you to maintain and hold boundaries in a whole new way, actually. And I think that that wake-up call that's set to come through with the full moon in Sagittarius is really going to help you to realize that, you know, whenever changes take place in our world, they also require something different from us. You know, there's a different version that we have to then sort of bring forth. And it's almost like you need to start giving more validation to what's happened on the inside and take time to feel truly at peace with that. Now, the Nine of Water coming through is a beautiful card. I love to see that for your solar returns, Gemini. Of course, it indicates that there's something you've been hoping, wishing, waiting for showing up. Now, I feel like it's just the very beginning. So I don't necessarily see that it's fully landed for you. What I think is going to start to happen is that you get the signs, and all of a sudden, like, your level of trust in this can work, or yes, this is actually coming together, or this is how I wanted to feel, or what it is I wanted to experience. This is what I think June is set to deliver for you. Now let's remind ourselves, Saturn is going to be shifting retrograde on the same day as we celebrate the new moon in your sign. Now, of course, Saturn retrograde gives us an opportunity to revisit our commitments and to review our boundaries and the sense of these long-term visions. With the full moon in Sagittarius, you're looking at the new horizons. And the Nine of Cups suggests that there's something that's really kind of forming this vision that you feel is attainable. And again, as you set your intention and attention around that new moon energy, I think you should feel in a really strong, empowered place. And for those of you that, you know, are really feeling the disruption or the discord in your pathways, I think, you know, we have to remind ourselves, you know, love doesn't save us, but it holds space for us to save ourselves. And there's something about you being ready, willing, and able to do something that really helps to bring you out of sort of survivor status and come back into just feeling a little bit more in control of your life. And then, you know, this is important because what we probably need to address in regards to this is that there's been a huge sense of trust that's been broken somewhere. And so your whole relationship to trust, whether that's, you know, the trust with your own intuition, whether it's trust with the universe at large or with a specific individual or an experience that you've had, you know, the sense of just feeling either disappointment or let down or unsure is really kind of eroded something quite deeply in your pathway. And what I sense is that June is this month of reconciliation within yourself and coming to terms with the significance and the importance of really getting back on board with what it's going to take to trust yourself and supporting that intuition to guide you, and then, you know, rehabilitate the important connections, relationships, or different energies in your life that have perhaps gone through a more challenging period. Now, the Seven of Airs suggests to me that the plans that are being made at the moment, again, are being done quietly, and perhaps that's as a result of you being unsure or unclear where certain people stand, or to the impact or the effect of things in regards to that. And I think that's okay. You know, you need to, as I said, start to rebuild this sense of trust for yourself in the areas that are important to you. There is something about this energy of guilt that's being held onto. Perhaps it's from you, or perhaps it's from somebody else, someone around you, Gemini. I also feel through this month of June, we're revisiting and exploring this. And, you know, there's this really beautiful energetic sort of exercise that I certainly participate in regularly, where you look at the polar opposites of experiences and words that you're going through. So if we take like a word like guilt or frustration or anger, and then you look at the complete direct opposite of that, and then you seek to kind of keep doing that over and over again in lists, and then you really allow that experience to be then handed over to spirit to help rebalance. And it's almost like addressing deeply in your subconscious these structures, these stories, these thought forms that have been bonded to these specific words, and the significance of how they can shape and impact your world, right? But as we look at the opposite that is true, and we allow ourselves to gravitate and orientate towards that, then we free ourselves from the experience of being kind of held down by that. So there's something about the words, the language, the way you're thinking about things, the psychology of that, that's also wanting to be explored through the course of this month. And I think that in itself can also give you huge breakthroughs in regards to perhaps some more challenging experiences that you might be going through with certain individuals, or something that's playing out in your life right now. Four of Earth brings in the stability. Beautiful. I want to say you've got something to build upon. Okay, now there's a discernment that comes with this. You know, we want to make wise choices through the course of this month. Remember, Venus in Leo is going to want you to, you know, spend big, or, you know, make the big gestures and overcommit yourself. But, you know, that Saturn retrograde is going to help sort of temper that a little bit. But what I really like with this is I feel it's the important foundation of something that, you know, through the course of this month, you're becoming clearer and clearer on for yourself. And again, it goes back to this desire to want to see something more straightforward, more simplistic, more clear in terms of its value to you, what it's doing for you, how it can integrate into your life. Yeah. Now on the 19th, Jupiter's going to sextile with Saturn. I love this date, so keep it highlighted in your diary, because what it tells us is that we have the strength to overcome adversity against the odds. So whatever may be going on for you, or may be feeling particularly triggering in the build up to that 19th, there's something there that's being delivered from Spirit, a signpost that's coming in that says, you have what it takes, and I'm going to show you where. We're going to help you find the solution in regards to this. And I think it's also going to help you set your sights a little higher. Yeah, it's going to help you to raise your standards and to go for something that perhaps you didn't think you had it in you, or perhaps you didn't feel you had the resources. But actually, again, we've got this stability indicative of it's going to be okay. So even if you have on a financial level a little bit of flux going on, yeah, and just things feeling a bit changeable, then again, as we move through the month, things are feeling like they're steadying out and coming into a deeper balance for you, okay? Now we have one of my favourite dates coming through this month, of course, on the 21st, as the sun shifts into Cancer. We welcome Solstice. We also have the asteroid goddess Ceres moving into Libra, sign of balance. And we have Mercury, your ruler, in your sign, sextile to Mars. So a beautiful lineup to celebrate this incredible time, this celestial event, as we witness the light and the dark, and we really come in, energy of temperance here, beautiful, to a very healing place as we release and we take stock of where we've been through the course of this first part of 2023. I think as you arrive at this time through the month, Gemini, there's something like that washes over you in a sense of like deep relief. So I feel like you're finally able to let go, or you see a marked energetic shift or change from something that has felt quite challenging and quite tricky. I think there's something to celebrate around this time. Again, communication feels very motivated and driven. So promises that are made, commitments that are made around this time also feel like they're really heartfelt. And you really sense that integrity from people, but also you yourself giving it to others in terms of the things that you're talking about and what matters to you. Now remember, Cancer energy is illuminating your second house of value. Again, this is now the preparation of the relationship that you have to the possessions in your life and the shifts and changes that you want to make in regards to that. Now, the day after, we've got another 2 asteroid goddess energies shifting sign. Juno is coming into Cancer and Vesta's coming into your sign of Gemini. So again, you know, every time this happens, they create these energetic shifts in how we are personally relating to experiences of what's going on around us. Vesta in your sign will be very harmonious. Juno coming into Cancer again brings balance and equilibrium from a much more heart-led place. What we can see through the course of how June is unfolding for you is that you're getting, as the month progresses, more and more at peace with how things are unfolding, even when they're not in the ways that you'd anticipated or expected. And this is the statement I want to, you know, really keep hammering home to you, is that as you show up in June as this kind of neutral observer, this neutral witness to what's happening, and you don't attach to some of the emotional flux of it, you're going to realize what is being shown to you and what you're gaining from this experience. And you'll come out of this in a more enlightened position, and actually with that 9 of Cups and Temperance, realizing that something, Gemini, was worth the wait. Yeah, something was absolutely worth the wait. Okay, so just a reminder, my deck Life Soul Vision and my new book Moon Musings are both out and available. Thank you so much for those of you that are using and sharing the beautiful feedback that you have. If you're new to the channel, we do continue this conversation with an extended version of the reading, and we'll talk for another 25 minutes or so deeper into the month ahead. You can find the link in the comment and the description for that underneath. So just a reminder, this month I'm also, for our soul journeys, exploring timelines and how our resistance to timelines can get in the way. We'll also be looking at major life changes and supporting you with a beautiful journey through that. And you can also find a really lovely solstice meditation. All of these are shown in the links below. I'm just going to go ahead and pull us some clarifying cards now for this reading for June. Okay, we've got the energy of the sun, beautiful. The wishing tree. Okay, I want to take 2 there, let's do it. Sacred Soul Union and Mirrors of the Mind. We've got the Spirit Line showing up for you, lovely. Earth, Medicine and Magic cast their spells. And Honesty at the Edge of Quiet. All the decks that I use are also listed in the comment and description box underneath. I'm just going to use another tarot deck now as well, just to see a couple more insights and what direction we will be taking this. King of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, 2 of Wands. We've got some nice cards coming out this month. The World, 8 of Wands, the Star, Hanged Man. This sense of focus is also being highlighted, you know, with some of these work cards coming through. I think regaining your focus or revisiting something. Again, that full moon in Sagittarius asking you to focus on one specific thing. Chariot, lovely. We'll also welcome Neptune shifting retrograde right at the end of the month on the 30th. Again, these are all annual transits that we go through. We kind of take the rose-tinted glasses off when Neptune shifts retrograde. So we get to see things in the true light. Sometimes that can shatter some illusions, but it's helpful when we're really trying to create that new vision and we have that blank page that we're starting with again, yeah. Okay, one ring circus we have, and finally I'm going to pull an astrology card. I'll go into these in more details in our extended version, as well as a personal question that we cover off specifically for you. Look at that, beautiful, Gemini, okay. Happy solar returns. I appreciate you tuning in. I hope this is helpful for you for the month ahead. I look forward to continuing this conversation in the extended if you're joining me, and I'll see you again next time, Gemini. You take good care.